I've never seen it.
Here's the only thing I have against people who watch football because of Taylor Swift. I have a very distinct thing against them. They won their first year, and you should have to feel sad.
Yeah, you shouldn't come. You shouldn't come in.
You are not allowed to. Right. You are not allowed to feel good first.
You need to. Go
I felt sad for 31 years.
Yeah,
before it was good.
You got to start as like a Lions fan or something. Is that right? And then work. They've never won anything. Is that correct?
Yeah, the Lions, the Cardinals are like the oldest team in the league, and they've never won. They've been in like 5 cities.
You should have to, if you're going to be new to the sport, you should start off on a bad. You have to earn supporting a good team
or a like fun team. Like the Chiefs have always been the team that blows it in monumental fashion. Yeah. So it's that to some people that's even worse than if they're bad.
Okay, yeah, no, I know that.
So Taylor Swift fans, sorry you're hanging out with the most successful, popular singer maybe since Michael Jackson, and now you jumped on the team and they won immediately. That's not fair.
But are these fans of the Chiefs?
You don't understand. Taylor Swift fans are a bigger fan about the things they like than anyone you've ever met in your life.
Interesting.
Fantasy football leagues will be ravished by Swifties next year who will outplay everyone and be smarter than them and know everything. They understand it. They're like explaining. They just once they're in, it's like they're so in.
This was the most watched Super Bowl of all time this year.
They tried I saw some publications try to claim it was way more watched than the World Cup, even though it was watched by about 900 million.
Yeah. No, you're short most of the people if you're making that claim. It's sort of like where people are like, it's the difference between $1 million and $1 billion is almost $1 billion.
Yeah.
That's the difference in the amount of people watching this game. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This was the taxes the World Cup would play versus their revenue.
Exactly. But it's funny that Americans always have to win. It's just like, guys, it's fine.
Yeah, one of the things says world. What we like to do is we invent sports no one else wants to play.
Yeah.
And then we get really good at them. And now the world actually is starting to like basketball, and we got to figure that out.
Yeah. You guys are starting to like soccer, though. Starting to like it a little. The numbers are going up.
Look, if this country liked women, we would love successful soccer. We are so good at our women's soccer team is so good.
Very good.
But yeah, we are starting to like soccer. I mean, Kansas City is a huge soccer city. They got World Cup games coming to Kansas City.
That's great. I need to get this. We get tickets for it.
I'm on the lottery. Yeah.
You're on a lottery already.
Yeah, you can sign up.
Oh,
right. I'm very excited for the people going between the stadiums. Oh, let's drive to Kansas City from LA.
Oh,
that's going to be a fun thing for like people coming in town from, a Central American country.
You will have to deal with English football hooligans, which will be quite fun.
That's okay.
And a lot will get arrested because you can't like urinate in the street in this country without getting arrested. I think you get a sex crime against you.
It depends on what you look like.
Okay, yeah. What do you mean? Like you're handsome?
I think for sure. A nice handsome guy cleaned up in a soccer jersey, he's probably getting a ticket.
Okay. And then what?
But if it's someone you don't want on your street again,
that fits America well. If you're handsome and you look good, you get away.
Yeah,
with
you got to think of like the tiers of wealth. If you're rich, you can pee on someone outside and you're fine.
Okay.
And then if you're like visually rich and unthreatening.
What's visually rich?
If you're like well kept and well put together, I think you could pee in an alley and not get in as much trouble.
Obviously, that depends on how drunk you are when you pee. Because pre-game, I reckon I'd maybe get a ticket but after 2-3 hours,
true.
Then you look like it also I must look bad because I've been banged
just based
up
on the history of England's World Cup team, you might not be in a great mood once the game's over.
That is correct. Yeah,
especially if it's a knockout stage.
It's actually, you know way more than I realized.
I was in Memphis for the World Cup in 2010, and we went to Tim Howard. I'm a Man U fan because of Tim Howard.
Yeah.
When I got into soccer,
Have you seen his teeth recently?
I don't love him anymore.
His teeth are...
Does he have like some veneers that are out of control?
They're brighter than the lights that are lighting us right now. I was watching on NBC the other day and I was like, mate, they must have cost all of your salaries from when you earned as a goalkeeper in the Premier League. They are shiny.
I was like, who's the best American player? And it was him at the time, and I was like, who does he play for? And then I just followed him because I liked Rooney a lot when he went over there. I'm like, this guy's... You love an unhinged guy.
One of the most successful, I'd say, athletes with that I'm aware of has Tourette syndrome.
Rooney?
Tourette? No, Howard.
Oh.
Hang on. Now I've said that. That might be a.
I mean, it just feels like a safe bet for Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, that's true. But Tim Howard, I always got told had Tourette's. But then I've watched him present on TV, and I've seen no. So maybe I've just said something someone told me once, and
I think he has it. He also did just yell at everyone a lot.
Okay, yeah, that's it's part of his job.
I don't know if like national soccer players in the United States have good enough health care for mental health treatment. So
that's true, actually.
But I love that. I went to his bar to watch the U.S. England game in 2010, and
he owns a bar
in Memphis.
Oh, cool!
And we were like, "What's the soccer?" Not realizing that it was also England's watch party bar in that city for all the time. So they'd split everyone, and we were back to back watching on TVs on both sides or whatever. And boy, was it sweaty!
Yeah, it's sweaty.
And it was a fun. England, very great goal. United States, Dempsey leaks one in through a keeper, and
it was 1-1, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then everyone just floods outside and starts peeing everywhere.
Okay, all right. As long as you can urinate in the street when it happens,
it's Memphis. I'm happy. Anyways,
Anyways,
we didn't even tell everyone we lived on the same street.
We didn't.
That's what this was all about beforehand. We should do the thing though. We should do the podcast.
Oh, okay.
I'll get a whole intro and a nice thing all set up beforehand.
Okay.
So we don't have to worry about it now.
I trust you.
But we're getting into Oscar season here with Chris Martin. Dave, have you seen Maestro?
I have, yes.
Wow. You're the first person I've ever met who's seen it. Dave Guthrie is here as well. Thank you both for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Chris, you've not seen Maestro.
I have not seen the movie Maestro.
Were there any other Oscar movies that you were, because I think I sort of asked, I was like, is there any Oscar season-y movies?
It was Oscar season, but preferably not Oppenheimer or Barbie. So
Oppenheimer and Barbie.
I did watch Barbie. I watched it in San Diego when I got down very early to do a gig to avoid the traffic from Los Angeles. You've got to leave like 9 days before your gig time to.
It is 2 hours. It's 2 hours away by idea.
Yes, exactly. But in reality, it's not. I watched it. I enjoyed Barbie because my wife had seen it and everyone said it was good fun. Mm-hmm. But it happened when she was very pregnant and I'd been on the road loads, but then I was I'm just going to go down to San Diego a bit early, but be back tonight. And then our dog just was throwing up so much and I'd taken the car. So I had a lot of my enjoyment. When you're sort of, because you care about someone, you want to help them, but I'm also like, but I am just sort of watching Barbie.
I'm in the movie theater.
I'm in the movie theater in San Diego, so I'm really
accidentally like the most selfish 2 hours you could possibly have.
I'm just like, I'm so sorry, but I mean, you got to figure it out yourself because there's very little I can do remotely.
Before the movie, they played a whole thing. I'm not even supposed to be talking to you right now. Yeah. I'm ruining the experience for everyone here.
I know. So I was just really torn between feeling bad, making her aware that I felt bad, but also just having a really lovely time watching Gosling and Margot Robbie.
Oh, it's great.
So that was the only one I've actually seen. I need to watch Oppenheimer, but when it comes to movies, I haven't done this as stand-up, but I do think there's something to this. I think every movie should just be called the length of the movie.
Okay.
Like 109 minutes. And then you should say the genre.
Sure. I have a James Franco movie you're going to hate.
Okay. That would be. I mean,
one intermission.
Oh my God.
63 and a half hours in. Did I do that math right?
Was it 128 hours?
127 hours.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. You're going to hate 28 weeks later.
Yeah, I'm going to hate that.
What about 12 Years a Slave? That's a lot.
Wow.
Well, that's a chant that they do actually for
that's an English. That's an English movie.
That's how we back our cricket team during a 5-day test match. Ironically, So
I've seen Oppenheimer. Actually, I've seen half of it, and I rented it on Prime, and then I took a break because it's so freaking long. And then by the time I got back to it, my Prime rental had expired.
That's hilarious. So that's really funny.
I've only seen half of the movie.
Isn't it 3 or 4 days they give you?
It's 3 days.
I like once you start watching a rental where they're like, you better fucking finish this.
Yeah.
Like,
why?
I feel like you've got to adjust it based on length of movie. It should be a week for a
day per hour movie. A week per hour.
Boredom. Like if it's an intense movie, you should give you more time to watch it.
Process it. Yeah. Ironic, amusingly, have I told you this? You obviously, we only just met today, even though we live on the same street.
Right.
And I don't generally shout this at people walking past my street. It's a
shame.
funny story, but it's not worth shouting across the street. But you know how everyone's talking about streamers removing movies and all this stuff?
Yeah.
Me and my wife, I think at the end of August, we're like, let's watch, nothing to watch, let's watch Robin Hood. I've been talking about Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves for ages. I haven't seen it.
The Kevin Costner one?
Yeah, it's the best.
I
Robin
love
Hood.
that movie.
It's a great Robin Hood.
Have not seen it.
Okay,
I watched it a couple weeks ago.
I don't know much about the RHCU to start with.
Is it the Robin Hood universe?
Yeah, mate. Come on, everyone at RHCU. All the cool kids.
You can tell my brain works. We have a sign over here that says "Killers of the Flower Dune."
There we go. I love it.
So this is what we're working with.
We'd watched it as kids, and I was like, I just had a hankering to rewatch it. Watched it. I think it was on HBO. Paused it after an hour. 9 p.m. Go to walk the dog. Come back. Restart it. It's gone. They've removed it from the streaming website.
Like
they gone because
they lost the rights at midnight Eastern time that day.
And I was like, come on.
Yeah, if you're mid-watch, you should be able to finish it.
Oh, that's so funny. We don't own anything anymore.
No, it's
ownership
terrible.
doesn't exist. Even if you buy it, they can lose the rights and you lose your purchase.
Yeah. So I was just like, you've got to give a grace period there. And it was also the fact it was on Eastern time.
Yeah.
I was being punished for a different time.
Maybe there was like a scene in it where Robin Hood did blackface, so they had taken it down, and you now you have to own the DVD to have that one. Like those episodes of 30 Rock that disappeared, and
Community.
Always Sunny.
Community. It's funny. We just list all of the comedies
all
we
the
like.
best, all the best comedies. Is that why it's not been a good comedy
This
for a while?
podcast. There's a good episode of this podcast.
Oh man.
But that does happen a lot. I mean, I've always regretted getting rid of my DVD collection.
I know, same.
Because I'm like, well, where am I gonna? I want to hear them talk about Ocean's 12. That's a bad example, but it was the first one that came into my head.
Yeah.
And now everyone loves watching behind the scenes stuff vertically, 1 minute at a time on the internet.
Oh yeah, of course.
But we don't sit down and watch like the. I actually do remember when I watched the. I don't like using blackface as a way to keep moving around movies I like, but the Tropic Thunder commentary, Robert Downey Jr. does it in character. Like he said in the movie he would, where he doesn't drop character till the DVD commentary's over. He does it, and then once the movie ends, he's the Australian guy again and just like leaves.
That's
It's funny. I like that stuff, but yeah, you lose your stuff fast.
Yeah.
But you get no warning.
But do you have would you be able to watch a DVD right now, like physically, if someone gave you a
I have
DVD?
an Xbox.
Yeah, I think the
okay.
Xbox would be.
I think it might even have a Blu-ray player. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know anyone that's ever bought a Blu-ray. I'll be honest with you.
They're really big amongst the people who it's just like a vinyl community, I suppose. Maybe not to the extent of like mainstream, but it probably will be at some point. But people are gonna be like, "Oh, you don't have the first pressing of Community? Well, you don't get to see Chang in the D&D episode then." Or
I love that episode.
It's very good.
I love.
When I was younger, sorry, you just made me think of DVDs. My ambition, my lifetime ambition as a teenager was to own every Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger movie ever made on DVD.
Oh wow,
And I did all right actually for a bit because when I was a teenager, how old are you?
34.
I'm 30.
Am I 35? 35.
Okay, I'm 37. So close enough. You just spent all your money. I spent all my money on DVDs as a teenager, and then I just gave them away.
Just it's a little bit like, well, you really start to wonder about it when you have to move.
Yes,
and you're packing up
yes,
your
the
books
moving.
and DVDs and records, and you're like, why is this stuff I like heavy?
Yeah, but do you know what we miss as well from that generation? I just remembered this was because DVDs was such you got to buy a DVD. Whenever there was a good movie for a bargain price, it was so. I remember being in HMV, which was the big Jake one of those big music and DVD place. And
Yeah, we had them.
HMV, Canadians.
In Canada, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are bonded with us in that way. True. HMV and politeness.
HMV's actually on their money still.
Yeah. Her Majesty. Your Vinus. Anyway, that's not good. That's
Victoria?
Clip only that part.
Yeah, just clip.
That's for our audience.
That's the whole podcast.
Made that the only thing I say over the whole podcast. Dave can speak on my behalf. I just remember an adult man when I was a teenager. He was on the phone to his wife, and he goes, "They've got Beverly Hills Cop 3 for £4." They've got Beverly Hills Cop 3 for £4.
Like he couldn't, and at this
couldn't
point,
believe it.
That might not have been a night and weekend minute. At this point, you know what I mean? This could have been costing him money. to make this phone call.
Yeah, you're right. That's true.
Like when text message used to cost a little bit of
he
money.
spent money to tell his wife that he got Beverly Hills Cop 3, the worst of the Beverly Hills Cop, for under £5.
I got when I got my first DVD player, I remember buying it. Mintech was the brand, which is not real anywhere ever. Huh. It came with a dual copy, like a 2 DVDs to come with it, in like a bundle. And it was Blue Streak with Martin Lawrence.
Yes.
And The Skulls, the Secret Society movie with Joshua Jackson and Paul Walker.
That's a weird combo.
Where I was the only guy who wanted to watch both. Like they were my 2 favorite movies after that. Very different movies, both exactly as good as you wanted them to. I think Blue Streak is actually very funny, and I think it's probably still funny.
I would like to rewatch that. Nice. I rented it from Blockbuster
with Luke Wilson, where he has to.
Do you know this movie?
No.
Martin Lawrence is a
thing.
Gramercy Street viewing party. Let's just keep saying our address.
Luckily, streets in LA are 9 miles long, so it'll be okay.
The Martin Lawrence is a diamond thief who hides a diamond somewhere because he's about to get caught by the police. And then when he gets out of jail, he goes back to get it, and the building where he hid the diamond is now a police station.
Yes.
So he has to fake being a cop.
Yep.
To infiltrate the police station to get in an air duct.
Yes.
But he just does cop stuff.
Yeah.
He keeps, because every time he tries to go in the air duct, they're like, "Where are you going? We need you over here."
Every time he tries to go in the air duct.
Every time. One time he tries to deliver pizza to before he becomes a cop.
That's a classic movie way into a building. If a pizza guy comes into an office, my main thought will be they're going to rob the place.
Yeah, they just let him in because he just is afraid of leaving the pizza with the guy. I mean, it's a real great. And then The Skulls is about it's like a Skull and Bones Harvard secret society thing with Joshua Jackson and Paul Walker, where it's more than meets the eye. It's actually pretty much exactly what meets the eye. But I don't remember much about it.
Rendezvous with the eye, just where you expect it to.
I couldn't believe they made a few more, but I couldn't believe secret society stuff didn't catch on more. It's like a very.
I don't even what other
sort of
movies
like National Treasure, Da Vinci Code.
I mean,
National.
Oh yes, I do actually. I don't mind a National Treasure movie. I don't mind it.
I have that bumper sticker I made right there about National Treasure because I love them. Because I'm like, if you're gonna do stupid stuff, lean in exactly to this.
Well, and when you watch a movie like that, and I assume you write as well for whether television or movies. Whenever I watch that, I just think that's a lot of. I bet how annoying it is to think of the sort of the clues,
like the history nuggets.
Do they hire a specific clue merchant to like a history major or something? Because it would hurt my head a lot to do that.
The good thing about how history's been taught here is we kind of changed it to our own narrative the whole time anyways.
Yeah.
So you can pretty much you can be like, do you know Paul Revere had one arm? And everyone would be like, I think I heard that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could just make stuff up.
That's true. That's good. But all the books are banned now, so that's a good way of getting around it. Okay.
But like you're talking about hiding clues in history, right? It's like, it's in the Louvre in this painting. Is that what you're talking about?
I just think
it's in
all of it.
I think the problem
all of it.
With that movie is then Americans go touch history stuff. Because we'll watch National Treasure and be like, that for sure.
Yeah.
And now they're like trying to touch the Declaration of Independence, and they have to put it under another bulletproof glass. Right.
Put a lighter in front of it.
A guy getting cut. They have a lemon detector so people don't squeeze juice on it trying to get into the Smithsonian or wherever it's at. Because we'll be like, where's Ben Franklin's glasses? And you have to be like, that's fake. And they're like, how could that be fake? Yeah, what did they record?
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's a funny sketch. A person whose all their history knowledge comes from the National Treasure movies.
Most of mine for a while. I mean, public schools in Missouri. I've talked about this I was in a psychology class in high school my senior year. And so this was like the second or third psychology class. Yeah. And the first day of class, we watched Memento. You know the movie Memento?
Yeah, great movie. Christopher Nolan's first movie.
Ish.
Yes. There was... Yes. His first big one.
Yeah. And so we watched Memento, and then everyone's like, it blows your mind, especially when you see it in high school, right? You're like, this is the first, did he write this down? Like, it's incredible. And I think it's a great movie. And we watched it over a course of a few days. And then about halfway through the semester, the teacher put it on again and didn't talk about how we'd seen it already.
Oh, wow.
And we watched it again, and we're like, oh, is this like So is this psychology?
Yeah.
Is he seeing? But no, he's just hungover.
correct.
Like, is what the thing
And
is.
he doesn't own any
and he
more
forgot.
DVDs.
He accidentally showed us the weird backwards mind, short-term memory loss movie twice, and it came off as more of a conceptual teaching thing. But in reality, he was a hungover football coach. And just has one DVD in the classroom.
That's funny.
But we were all like, this is blowing our minds how rewatching this is like, what did we forget? And you're just like, oh, he's just on it playing solitaire.
Brilliant. I
Was
love
he
that.
Jack Black? Was that your teacher?
Mr. Settle. Eventually, Jack Black could be this person, I suppose. If he
Mr.
loses all
Settle.
motivation.
That's a great name.
That's just what they call most high school football coaches. Or I guess settle if you're using it in the term of your football.
Hang on, your
as
high
well.
school football coach was also your psychology
Oh yeah.
teacher. I get. Was there a lot of psychology just being like?
No, there was just what do we value the least, and that's what the athletic coach teachers would teach. And so you can only have so many PE teachers and health class teachers. I mean, my health class was taught by like the lineman coach who was just like, y'all know what pussies are, right? Like this, it was
Wow.
like, it was nothing.
I love the idea of the psychology being the coach and most of the lessons being like, you want to be a winner?
Yeah, I know exactly.
All right.
So if there's like a balance between like the better you are at coaching, the less we care about what or how you are at teaching.
Right. Okay. I've watched Last Chance U. I see what happens. You guys really value kids winning sports. Which
Yeah.
is the weird, such a weird thing to
I'm
me.
like blown away by people who only like college sports,
So weird.
where they're just like, I love sports when they're unpaid boys.
Yeah, when they're unpaid.
Aren't they paid now though? Did I hear? Is
Yeah,
that thing?
they have a thing called NIL where you own your likeness finally, so you
okay.
can like sell an autograph or do an ad. Like kind of I think they're making a college football video game, but now the players own that, and like
Right.
it only
Good.
took them
Yeah.
120 years to be like,
Yeah.
do they own their face yet?
Yeah, that's mad.
Progress.
They
though.
get free education, is always what they said, and then they would actively dissuade them from doing
Right,
any education.
free education-ish, and then they ask you to leave early if you want to go to your job, and you're not allowed to sell an autograph. Nah, we got it all figured out. We should talk about Maestro. What I'm going to write down my time here, in my little note.
It's very official now. It's gone from freewheeling to okay.
Taking a note. I like that the computer closed.
Yeah, I get
It
it.
feels better than having it.
Okay.
It's sort of like watching the movie in theaters versus at home when you can pull your phone out.
Okay.
Okay, we got off. So you hadn't seen any, or you'd only seen
I'd
Barbie
only
and
seen
Oppenheimer?
Barbie. I haven't even seen Oppenheimer.
Oh, hadn't seen
it's too
Oppenheimer.
long.
Yeah,
'Cause it's
yeah,
too long,
yeah.
but I would like to watch it. 'Cause
I would love it if they had an intermission in theaters for it.
that would be great.
Yeah.
You should be able to have that.
I feel like we need to bring them back. I don't know why they got rid of them.
Money, mate.
Yeah, I guess you can show the movie one more time a day if you cut all the
Probably.
Sell me stuff. Sell me popcorn.
No, that's what they don't need to. They're already charging you 900 times more than corn actually costs.
I mean, I have
to-
the AMC thing, where the
Yeah, I've got the AMC
A-list,
thing,
and
yeah.
you think that you're saving money, and then you're like, oh, I didn't go to a movie for a month.
I know.
Crap. That's what they want.
100%.
I would love intermissions. I want the dancing pop. I would go see Oppenheimer again in theaters if there was an intermission. I thought it was great.
I bet it's great. I bet it is brilliant. But I also generally stuff like that. My wife more than me likes watching dumb action films that are 90 minutes long. So I'd have to
Sure.
send her off.
Tell her there's 2 dumb action films showing back to back in a theater with minimal action, but
Yeah.
there's a guy. There's someone who's Albert Einstein.
Okay.
Which is, I found it impossible to not laugh at someone. You've seen Oppenheimer?
I've seen.
You've seen half of Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah, you never got to see the other half.
I
So
saw
we got
Einstein,
off
though.
track,
Stop.
and
Yeah.
This guy, he's got bringing up his bad rental. He's wasted. That's
I-
$4.99 down the Swanee.
oh, probably more than that. What are we looking at?
I think
Was
it's
it in 4K?
I don't. I live in Las Feliz. I can't afford that shit. No, $3.99.
I mean,
Okay.
you're saying you can't afford that, but you're talking to 2 people who live in East Hollywood versus
Right.
Las Vegas.
All right, the Hollywood of Los Feliz is
Yeah.
where we live. I thought I found it impossible to not laugh at someone acting as Albert Einstein, because Albert Einstein's like one of 10 fake people, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't have a better way to describe that. But he's
looks
a
like
fake person.
He just looks like a disguise, doesn't he?
It's a bit.
Yeah.
You're a Halloween costume.
Yeah.
You're too famous to be in a movie as a real person. I think there's maybe 10 of them because it's just the face.
How does he play him? Does he play him as you'd imagine him?
He doesn't stick his tongue out, and he never rides a bike, and that's most of what was in my dorm.
Yeah, I know
So-
what you mean. Yeah. plays a very grounded
It's
Einstein.
like very normal and everything, but I just think it's too famous of a person. It's Jesus was too. You can't. Someone was. You're
Not
Jesus
everyone
in
can
the
be
movie.
Jim Caviezel. No.
Right. I think
actually
legally
my-
at this point, even.
No, actually, it's so funny. My wife's auntie, who's very religious, said that we need to be more like Jim Caviezel, and that's why our careers have not gone how she wanted them to go.
You need to get struck by lightning.
She just meant open up your heart
That's
to God.
so funny.
more.
You should be more like. There's a balance between Jim Caviezel and Mel Gibson where success in Hollywood lies.
Yeah, it's a very hard needle to thread. That Venn diagram is
It's a
wafer
very,
thin.
very, very. You could barely get 1 or 2 nails through there. Okay, so then I'm thinking, what the other
I saw Poor Things.
Poor Things you'd
Great.
seen?
I love that.
I have
Amazing.
not
Yeah.
seen Poor Things.
So good.
Yeah, I generally don't watch almost any of the Oscar nominated.
Really?
I would like a lot of them when I watch them, but it's more I've got to get down because it's generally heavy. It's a heavy movie.
Yeah.
It's not a light meal, is it? It's not a salad. It's a deep fried Mars bar. Of a
I
meal.
have, with Yorgos, the director of Poor Things, I have generally left his movies feeling so upset. And not in like a I disliked them way, but in like a bleak sort of, like The Lobster and Killing of the Sacred Deer. And I'm just like, you hit this tone that resonates with me in such a specific way that I don't know if I can watch it with anyone else. I don't know if this one seems a little more lighthearted maybe than the other ones.
You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't.
Is it funny?
Yeah. Yeah. It's got this like
This movie, everyone wants to fuck the baby brain, right?
That's a very weird sentence to hear.
that's the log line.
I'm
of the
trying to
movie.
amp up my SEO here on the podcast.
it's
So,
working.
Yeah, my favorite. Well, not my favorite scene, but Mark Ruffalo has a scene where he walks in and within seconds of meeting Emma Stone's character, he just scratches her vagina. That's like a scene in the movie.
All right, let's
Like,
get it on.
That sets
No,
the tone of the movie.
okay.
Scratches.
Did you watch it with captioning on? I'm just wondering if anything popped up.
No, I saw it at the theater.
Oh, okay.
We've had to start watching everything with captions because
Yeah.
a baby sleeps in the room next door. Amusingly, was watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Amazon and
The show?
the
television-
show with Donald Glover and Maya Erskine. Is that
Sure.
her? Anyway, she farts in it and it just says fart.
See, I love that.
And then I was like, this is made worth watching. I'm glad I watched 6 hours of
Yeah.
this for that one moment.
I'm always interested in whether or not they type out all of the lyrics to a song that's happening or just the title of the song.
I think they would type out all the lyrics.
They
Oh,
do
you
the
mean in the
lyrics.
background song?
Yeah, in the background
No,
song.
you can't type all the lyrics to that. It's too-
We were watching the True Detective, the new True Detective
Very good.
season. I love the setting of it. I don't want to go on a whole tangent about the show.
Okay.
Because since we just watched, it's like I think the setting of the show is incredible. I'm like, this is exactly the tone
Yes.
of anything I've
Yes.
ever like. Why have we been
doing stuff.
And I watched the whole thing. I'm like, I mean, Alaska is Canada. We should just give them that. What are we doing with this? But I love the tone. But every time they would play Twist and Shout or like one of the weird slow covers, they would put every lyric the entire time to the whole background song side by side with all of the dialogue. And I was like, are you trying to like get across the point of using this song to me in the captioning?
I know what you mean.
And they would be in different spots of it. Anyways, I've been thinking a lot about the
That
captioning
happens on
since
Love
watching
is
that.
Love is Blind if you watch it with captions because they always play songs that are very like lyrically.
Accurate.
on
It'll
the-
be like,
on the
I
nose.
love
On
you,
the
even though we
nose.
just met.
or it's like we're falling away, and it's like while
Sure.
they're like literally like
Because they like hit like a quick crescendo into. They basically use them as drops
They're
to go like scene
stings.
to scene
It's
or
like
whatever.
yeah, it's like a music sting, but it's like a lyrical sting too. At the
I like the musical Sting. He's good.
Yeah.
Speaking of music and movies,
Yes.
Maestro.
Tangent.
Let's do the script and then we can talk about Maestro.
Okay.
All right, here we go. We have 3 things. Is there anything you want to preface going in?
I listened to.
Cute.
I think I listened to Joe Zimmerman's episode.
Bear?
The Bear.
Okay.
I don't. So what I knew about Maestro. Actually, you do need a bit of. All I knew was what's his name? Bradley Cooper. Spent 6 years learning to conduct
Yes.
in real life so he could conduct in the movie.
Right.
And obviously, and I know what's her face is in it. Kerry Mulligan's in it, and I expect it's a biopic. How do you say it?
Biopic, I would say.
Biopic.
Biopic. I feel
Biopic.
like they say biopic if at award shows and biopic if
Yeah.
you're talking to humans.
So yeah, it's a biopic, and then
Well, you could say the movie was biopic.
Okay. There you go.
Anyway, it's one of those. It's one of them ones, and but I don't like those I don't like that type of movie.
Okay.
I'd rather watch a documentary than watch a person do that.
Okay.
But I figured who else would learn for so long to do something like that, and I figured an undercover cop to fit in. To
Okay, and this fits into the kind of movies you spend more time watching.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. Cast it however you'd like. We'll have you do the stage directions.
I'll do stage directions. So Maestro is the main character played by Bradley Cooper. Is that something you would like to be the main part?
Whatever you like.
You be Maestro. Okay. Dave,
his name is Maestro.
He's called Murray Maestro.
Oh, okay.
Dave, you are in the first scene, Detective Ricketts, and then I think Dave in scene 2 you can be Susan.
Okay.
And I think I will do all the other bit parts. I think that works pretty well actually, and the stage directions. Okay.
Perfect. Great.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Internal McDougal's Irish Bar Day. Something like, the only other thing is I like classical music, but I have a terrible brain for any names or lyrics to any song. So just better. I like classical music. I like listening to it, but I don't know any lyrics. So I've sort of lent into one song I knew the name of.
Okay.
Internal McDougal's Irish Bar Day. Something like, because you never know if you get the rights to the thing. So something like Fifth Symphony in C minor plays on the jukebox. Murray Maestro, Bradley Cooper, but with grizzly stubble that shows he doesn't take care of himself, but it's still kind of hot. Knocks back a shot of whiskey, sips his light beer, then opens a bottle of Advil and chugs it. Gen Z barman approaches. The music stops. A drunk guy in the corner applauds. Drunk guy. Finally! Young Gen Z barman. Same again, Maestro.
Why the hell not?
Maestro flicks the barman a coin.
Put it on again.
What is it with you and this whack-ass music?
I'll whack your ass if you don't play the song and pour my drinks.
Gen Z barman puts his hand above his head. Whatever, Gramps. Barman fills up Maestro's vessels. Maestro and Bibes both drinks like a thirsty camel. Also, I do like it I'm doing stuff in here that I can't do in normal script writing, which is use description and a lot of exposition.
Yeah, that's okay, because there's not like an actor you're going to upset.
Exactly. So I kind of enjoyed the fact that I had that license. Anyway, Maestro and Bibes both drinks like a thirsty camel. The barman puts a coin in the jukebox. Fifth Symphony in C minor starts up again. Not again! Maestro glares at drunk guy. A warning. Deep New York accent. That's also you, Dave. Off screen.
But he's having.
Maestro turns to see. Perfect. Maestro, that's exactly how I imagined it in my head. Maestro turns to see Captain Ricketts, 60s, white hair, moustache, beer belly, saunter over and sit on the empty bar stool next to him.
How'd you know I'd be here, Ricketts?
Because it's after 3 o'clock on a day of the week, you alcoholic son of a bitch.
Maestro shakes his head and turns back to the job in hand, drinking booze.
And it's Captain Ricketts to you, Maestro.
You haven't been my captain since you fired me 8 months ago for being a good cop.
Good cop? You shot someone for having a broken taillight, for Christ's sake.
I bet they remember to get it fixed after that.
I don't have time for this shit, Maestro. I've got a hernia the size of Nepal and a stack of paperwork taller than Yao Ming on my desk.
Oh, by the way, Ricketts, to give him more of texture, he has a real interest in Asia, despite being a 6-year-old white man.
No, you don't have to say despite. Have you met 60-year-old white men?
Ricketts slams a police badge on the bar.
I got an assignment for you.
What makes you think I want an assignment?
Because it involves your favorite music, classical.
Ricketts slams a folder on the bar. He gets up and heads to the exit. Maestro looks at the folder, intrigued.
You'll also be undercover.
Maestro smiles. He loves being undercover almost as much as he loves classical music.
Could be stopping a terrorist who's been part of the New York Philharmonic.
The music changes to Don't Stop Believin'. Maestro turns to see drunk guys skip the track.
You'll also be undercover with a partner.
Maestro looks pissed. He hates having a partner.
A female partner. I bet you love that as much as China loves the independence of Taiwan.
Maestro is furious. He gets up, walks towards drunk guy, picks up a pool cue.
Skip this!
He smacks drunk guy in the head. He's out. Maestro puts another coin in the machine and puts on Fifth Symphony in C minor. He looks happy his song is back on, but also concerned about the new assignment because of the female partner. Okay, next scene. Internal music hall, day. Chiron. Is that how you say it? I never know.
Chiron?
Chiron.
I say Chiron.
Chiron sounds sort of like a trendy kid's name.
Yeah, it does.
too.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, Chiron. 6 years later, a full orchestra is playing Fifth Symphony in C minor. Maestro's conducting the orchestra. He's waving his hands in a mesmeric yet aggressive way. He suddenly stops.
What the heck was that? We have a big concert tonight. And you're doing that during our last rehearsal?
The music stops. Everyone looks at each other.
You!
He points his wand at Susan Harrington, Carey Mulligan, fresh-faced yet means business, who's playing the oboe.
Me? What's wrong?
You don't know? Jesus. Everyone, let's take 5. Susan, can I have a word?
Everyone puts down their instruments. Susan walks over to Maestro. He leads her out the door. Internal hallway continuous. Maestro looks at Susan, dead in the eyes.
You think they bought it?
Bought what?
That I hate you?
Sure.
I just don't want any of them, especially Margot, thinking that we like each other at all, let alone are in cahoots.
No one thinks that.
Good, not good enough.
Then he bangs his hand on the wall so the whole orchestra next door can hear.
Don't you think we should have a plan to actually take out Margot before she uses
Oh, just blows.
before she blows up the whole music hall we've been assigned to stop? We've been working on this case for 6 freaking years. These fingers should be on a trigger, not oboe buttons.
What is it with rookie cops wanting a plan all the time? Sometimes the only plan you need is to shut your trap and listen to the music.
What?
Shh.
Maestro puts his finger to her lips to shush Susan.
Listen.
His finger still on her lips.
I don't hear anything.
Exactly.
You're in too deep, Maestro. Are you even a cop or just a batshit conductor now?
Maestro thinks about this. He can't answer. He doesn't know.
If you don't take out Margot before 8 o'clock, I will. Remember, the detonator is inside her bassoon.
Maestro is still lost in thought.
Did you hear me? Her bassoon.
She clicks her fingers to snap him out of the trance.
Yeah, got it. Inside her trombone.
Susan walks away pissed. She cannot get over how unreliable a partner Maestro is. Internal music hall continuous. We pan to see there is someone standing the other side of the door who heard the whole conversation. It's Margot Valentina, played by Dame Judi Dench.
Who's not even in the movie. Very funny.
Wait, was your one gripe that Judi Dench isn't in the movie? We get through the whole thing, you're like, like Dame Judi Dench has the time for Bradley
Everything
Cooper's
else-
antics.
Everything else is perfect.
Oh, that's so funny. She's not even in this.
It's just the whole premise falls apart.
He just unplugs the mic and leaves. You know, the mic is still ours.
Isn't she semi-retired right now anyway?
I thought it was great.
Thank you.
Oh, boy. All right, we're going to take another quick break. Then we're going to talk about Maestro, play some games, and get out of here.
We're at 43 minutes.
Great. Thank you. So Judi Dench isn't in it. We learned that inaccuracy.
Yeah.
Lucky we've got an expert who watched the whole movie.
Pretty close.
us on
Did you
track,
watch through the credits, too?
Could have
Yeah,
been.
I did. She's
Judi
not-
Dench snaps them out of existence.
No, she doesn't come. No, there's no teaser at the end.
Oh, man. Here's my thoughts on the 6-year thing.
Okay.
So he spent 6 years. Why can I not remember the conductor's name?
In real life.
Yeah, in real life.
Bernstein.
Yeah, Leonard
yeah.
Bernstein.
Yeah.
He spent 6 years learning to conduct, to act in this movie. That's not acting anymore.
That's just
You're just doing it.
you're just doing it. You've got really good at practice.
I don't even mean in a good or a bad way.
Yeah.
I just mean it's not acting anymore, really, is it? Because you're doing the thing you know how to do. Is Tom Cruise acting when he skydives?
That's a real mate.
Or is he just
That's-
skydiving? And I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe it's acting because there's a camera. I would say maybe the camera adds a thing because it is harder to still continue to perform in front of a camera or something like this.
Is he acting
But
when he
is it-
sprints really far?
Is it acting?
Or does he love sprinting?
And then what is the line between an impression and acting?
Well, my non-jokey answer to that question is that it is acting if you are still telling a story while you're conducting. Like if you're still going through a moment.
So you're saying he is like, I'm trying to, while I am conducting, which he learned to do fully, he's also letting people know how Leonard Bernstein was feeling in this moment through it.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, that's my...
Like, I'm kind of joking and kind of not joking.
Yeah,
because
I know what you mean.
Every year there's one really good impression that gets nominated for an Oscar.
I agree. I have the same thing, which is it's a really good impression. So the other thing about this movie, the only other thing I did know, but I avoided in my script, was my friend who's Jewish said, why has he put on a prosthetic nose for the part? Why does he need to do that? She thought that was like offensive.
I remember when the trailer came out, a dialogue around that, and I think Leonard Bernstein's, I don't know if it's, I might be saying it wrong. His family was like, we don't care, and so everyone was like, okay.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But she did care.
But I mean, I could see that person to person being
Yeah,
something
of course.
that really affects
But
how
then
you feel.
But you're also like, does it add anything? Do you know what I mean? Like, because then you are like, then it is full on an impression of a person.
I thought in Lincoln it was crazy that Daniel Day-Lewis carried around that penny.
Oh, is that in real life?
So everyone, no, that didn't actually happen. It just Abe Lincoln's on the penny. But
I haven't seen Lincoln.
that's how method he is.
But
he carried around an empty penny, and he's like, someday I'll be on here.
The method thing is a real. I actually think that a good actor can just like, because you're right. Then you're just being a human your whole life, and then someone happens to be rolling a camera. Whereas I think good acting is you can turn it on.
It's so odd to me because what you always hear, the examples that are always brought up around method acting are like these singular performances, and you're like, well, yeah, is that the results all the time?
Yeah,
like
because most of the time you annoy most of the people.
There's method actors who aren't Daniel Day-Lewis, and you're like, well. Or I think a lot about Jeremy Strong in Succession.
I mean, he is.
That's a singular performance, I think. I think, actually, honestly, it's the standout performance of the show because I think to me, it's so nuanced and so incredibly specific. I've never seen anything like it. And even Brian Cox, who was constantly like, he was unbearable to be around, but I can't argue with the results.
Kendall?
Yeah.
Yes, Kendall, yeah. I saw him in another movie, and it was basically Kendall.
He's in Lincoln.
Yes.
Lincoln. If you go, I just watched Lincoln.
Yeah.
Rewatched Lincoln.
Could you? I couldn't tell.
If you go back and rewatch it, because I was. If you go back and you're like he.
We can say anything right now. When that guy scores a goal in soccer, like that bit in Lincoln where the guy buries it.
Speaking of quid, you know who's on some of our quid over here?
It's like when you learn It's like when you learn a new word and you have to use it.
My word of the day was Lincoln.
Yeah.
You should see the kind of cheaper Cadillac I drive. It's a Continental. But that is the example I always think of when it comes to like that impression that wins all of the awards. Because I don't know, but maybe Lincoln's harder because we don't know I don't know. There's not a lot of footage of him.
It's very true.
But there is always the line of like, are you, we don't know what Leonard Bernstein was like in these intimate moments that I'm sure the movie depict. So that's what Bradley Cooper is bringing to this. But
I know
sometimes I'm like, you're acting like you saw on like Kennedy, like right when someone plays like JFK, you're like acting how they sound or something.
It all feels a bit much. I think that's what it is for me. Maybe it's just like a bit. It's like, can we? It's just.
Was this a good movie? Did you like Maestro?
I liked as it went on. I liked it more and more. It's very like an Artur kind of piece, and it's very much. I thought it was like.
Did you think that's some top-notch conducting?
Well, at first there's the first half of the movie he doesn't conduct anything, and there's one scene where he does like this once, and I was like, is that what you studied 6 years
right.
for?
And even then, that was like a Harry Potter thing he was doing.
Yeah. Conducting is the funny thing to me, I don't know much about conducting, but the little that I do.
That is the funny thing about you.
Yeah. The funny thing about me. The thing that I thought was, or the interesting thing to me is that I think with conductors, the point of conducting, most of it is in the prep work, in the sort of arrangement of the piece and sort of working towards the performance.
Would you say it's like coaching a soccer team?
Yes, very much. Like at the game, how much coaching are you doing in a game? Mm-hmm. So it's funny though to practice for 6 years so that you can do probably the minimal part of the job, which I think that's just the more performative for the audience bit. I'm sure they are still keeping time and like, but I think at that point the musicians are just knowing what they're doing because they've practiced so much.
Yeah.
Do you reckon he spent so long? Like, there's certain sections of the internet where they've got very aggressive sort of comment section. Like apparently if you ever make a joke about cyclists on Twitter, you'll get 1 million cyclists going like, what are you talking about? You could kill someone.
Well, you just reply to them, stay in your lane.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly. Conducting though, maybe there's a very aggressive.
I mean, I'm super
backlash.
hypocritical about it because I'll sort of make fun of him for spending 6 years doing it. But when I watch something and you watch anything about stand-up and you're like, this hurts. Watching like how stand-up is portrayed,
Yes.
even by stand-ups a lot of time, you're just like, well, this is so awful and makes me feel weird because they're doing it wrong. Because it's almost like you see those videos of people who this is what a language sounds like if you don't speak it. And they just sort of speak gibberish in English, but they're like, this is what English sounds like to people who don't speak English. That's how watching a lot of stand-up is portrayed and stuff like that. I'm only talking about my favorite stand-up comedian who is the Joker. No.
Can I ask what about the stand-up is that you don't like?
Everything's
Really?
hacky. I mean, a lot of it's taking out the culture around it as well, of like a green room this or like this.
Yeah.
The immediate success comedians tend to have, whether it's a TV or movie about doing stand-up. There's no like middling. I just think lots of times it comes off as very odd and forced.
I get that.
But I don't consider, I don't know. So
you
I'm
basically
sure.
want something to not. You essentially just don't want something to take you out of the movie. Is what we're
Yeah,
so
and
it's
I think
fair
any
enough.
movie that's about something you've spent your 20 years with is probably, you're gonna be like, this is fucking, like, I'm sure the hardest is probably a hacker. If you're a real life
being a
hacker and you're
hacker,
watching a movie, you're
you're
like,
like-
fucking what
you-
the fuck,
you're like,
dude?
there isn't even, there's no such thing as a mainframe. There's no such thing as
the
a
only
mainframe.
accurate hacker thing is if someone just walks in and steals a computer from a store, and that's how you get the information.
That's true.
So I'm sure it's with everything. So while I actually like, when I think about it, I'm happy he spent all this time, and it seems I'm sure it was more fulfilling to him in other ways than just learning how to move his arms for a movie. I'm sure he did want to win awards, and I'm sure it was helpful for him.
It's a good performance.
I just think of him as what is it? Wedding Crashers. He's like the funny jock.
Oh yeah.
Just it's fun. It's a funny evolution to go from that to spending.
And then he's a
6
raccoon for 9 years in
Yeah.
movies.
Is he?
He's Rocket
Yeah.
Raccoon in Guardians of the Galaxies.
Oh, of course.
We lose these actors to the MCU for a while,
Yeah.
and then they come back out the other side, and they immediately are like, can we get back to awards?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. opened his eyes and put him and was in Oppenheimer, and spent a year being like, this is the best movie I've ever been in. And
Once you make that, there must be a level of cash you make, and you're like, this is just.
I mean,
why am I doing this?
I think about Robert Downey Jr. like I do an athlete like Patrick Mahomes or like Lionel Messi, where I'm like, everything they're making still probably isn't near what they're owed for what they generate.
I'm with you.
Because I mean, he made how much has Marvel and Disney and all of these pockets been lined from what was just the casting agent deserves $1 billion.
Yeah.
You're right. He's just so cool. It's basically what it is.
Absolutely incredible casting.
He's just improving his way through a lot of these movies too, which is crazy. And I don't think he's credited ever as a writer.
Yeah, he's
Is he actually improving as well?
Yeah, for sure.
Him and Ryan Reynolds have that same thing of handsome. The way they talk, I'm just very they have this such a smooth quickness to what they're saying.
It is like an absolute confidence of really knowing that character, and then it seems to just be sort of who he is. But now he's on the other side of it with. He has to have made $1 billion off of these things, the Marvel
reckon?
stuff. I mean, if not, they like.
I'd ask you to look up his net worth if you weren't so militant having your
I
laptop
can't.
shut.
There's absolutely nothing I can do. Those are also always accurate.
They're always. I mean, my net worth's apparently $15 million, and I don't even think that's the other Chris Martin. They think it is.
What do we got?
I'm gonna
This
guess
says he made
300.
$75 million for Endgame,
300 million?
and
I reckon he's.
it
I
says
reckon
around
he's-
300 million.
Yeah,
From the very credible site celebritiesnetworth.net.
I know. It's classic. There's the other good one is Celebrity Heights. There's a Celebrity Heights.
I would love
one.
that. I think it should be celebrities.net/worth.
Yeah, or celebritynet.worth.
Yeah,
Good.
it'd be easier to save, or just wikifeet.com/worth. But I just think whatever he did, I don't know how we got talking about this. It's the same. I feel like Patrick Mahomes has a $500 million contract with the Kansas City Chiefs, where he's vastly underpaid
Yeah, I
for the
know.
value that
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
bringing.
of course.
And like Lionel Messi, whatever he's getting paid from Miami, and then partial ownership and all this stuff,
Still not enough.
They have to move the games in all the towns to bigger places for one guy.
I know.
The ticket sales on the Miami games are 10 times the price of any other MLS game. It's wild.
Yeah, maybe they just like the free-flowing movement of Miami's offensive scheme. And
I mean, you've got all those other great Miami players.
Yeah.
Dan Marino,
Yeah,
Lincoln.
you got
Lincoln.
Alexi Lalas. You know,
Hey, Sports Illustrated for Kids 3-time cover star Alexi Lawless. All right. Okay, we're going to play a few games, and then we're going to get out of here. We got some podcast-themed games. The first one, podcast theme. They're not themed after a podcast.
Hey.
They're podcast themed games. I have you do my ad reads.
Oh, I'd love to.
This first game is called Before and Afters. And how this works, you want to hit that red button over there?
Get ready to play Before and Afters.
I had 2 movies that have been smashed together into one movie. I'll read you the smashed together plot. You have to come up with the smashed together title.
Okay.
Killers of the Flower Dune, smashed together title.
Right.
I'm trying to think of one with Maestro. Me, Maestro, Self, and Irene could be one right
Nice,
there.
nice. Okay.
You know, and other examples that I'll put in post to make it look like I really killed it.
Great.
I just list off 100. Wolf of Wall Street, Saving Private Silverman, Fargo, that's Argo and Fargo put together.
Love it.
None of them are as good as these examples.
Okay.
Because these ones are the
Yeah,
examples.
because your example. Yeah, okay. I get it.
All right. You can work together, or you can compete
to
against
come
one
up with the
another.
plot?
I'll read the plot. You
And
have
then we have
just
to
guess
guess
the title.
the smashed together title.
we have
You
to
can,
guess the
or you
title.
can chime in with one of our instruments here.
Oh, let's
whatever you want to do.
chime in. I want to make some noises. What's that one, mate? What noise does that make? Okay.
What's this one?
Okay. It'd be
Great.
really awkward if we don't now know, and there's be deathly silence.
Here we go. Number 1. A curmudgeonly instructor spends Christmas break babysitting a handful of students on a prep school campus where you rapidly age.
Something. I don't even know what the first. Okay, we're going to confirm.
We can confer on
Oh,
it?
definitely.
Well,
yeah.
something old.
I was thinking first thought was Benjamin Buttons, but then it said the opposite. He's
That show's
rapidly
old.
aged.
Isn't the movie old? With
I haven't seen it.
that M Night Shyamalan is the old. So something old.
A curmudgeonly instructor spends Christmas break babysitting a handful of students on a prep school campus where you
There's
rapidly
like
age.
so many movies in that. Curmudgeonly instructor.
Imagine instructor.
Is there like?
Phil, do you know what? I feel actually we've like ruined the podcast by not even having a guess right now. It's terrible. Curmudgeonly instructor. Just keep saying it.
I will tell you
me the
that
hint.
you're half right, and the other half is an Oscar-nominated movie from this year, so we might be talking.
Oscar-nominated movie from this year.
Barbold.
Barbold,
Barbold.
Oldenheim, old,
Past old.
Maestrold.
Past old.
Not-
Poor old.
Oldenheimer.
Old. I'd need to think of more. I don't know any more Oscar. Oh, hang on. The one with.
You only get 10 minutes per guess.
Snip it in post.
We are looking for the Oldovers.
That was it.
Oh.
The Oldovers.
What was the curmudgeonly
That's
instructor?
Holdovers.
Holdovers.
Is it about a professor?
Yeah, Paul Giamatti plays a.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like
I've seen
a lot of movies default to Paul Giamatti plays a intellectual.
Just to clarify, will all of these be about the involved movies nominated at this Oscars?
No.
Okay,
a
fine.
couple of them do.
Okay.
I think 2 or 3 of them do.
Okay.
I just started with that one because it was the easiest one.
Oh God, that's the easiest one.
Jesus.
Now, here we go. Racial tensions overflow after a dispute about the photos on the wall of a Brooklyn pizzeria ran by a young woman who was resurrected using the brain of an unborn fetus.
So many
So
words.
many words,
So many
yeah.
words. That's all I'm thinking there. So many words.
Pizza and racist.
Pizza, racist pizza, brain. Someone got resurrected from a brain. What's that 80s movie where she gets oh my god, the guy from
Okay.
Breakfast Club.
Can you read it one more time?
It's just too many words.
Racial tensions overflow after a dispute about the photos on the wall of
He's
a
got
Brooklyn
it. Dave's got it.
pizzeria
Make the noise.
Oh, no. I'm just. I got
ran
some
by
of
a
it.
young woman who was resurrected using the brain of an unborn fetus.
Okay, the first part is that Spike Lee movie, which now I can't think of the name. Which is where he throws a garbage can through the window. Am I on the right track with this? Yeah. What the fuck is the name of that movie? With Danny Aiello, is it it?
So I was just harmonizing the uhs.
What are you saying over here?
I don't want to guess in case I'm wrong.
It's okay to be wrong. There's no limit on guesses.
I don't. My Spike Lee knowledge is not great.
Okay.
Did he do Boys in the Hood? No,
It's not. It's
I was worried if I get it wrong. It's racial based reasons for getting it wrong.
Okay,
It's
what's
me
the
not
brain-
knowing the movies?
No, it's fine.
What's the brain fetus bit?
I was thinking of Weird Science, but it's not Weird
Brain.
Science.
Where's a movie where there's a brain?
Young
fetus.
Frankenstein. I don't know.
Brain of a fetus. It could be. Oh, it could be Poor Things. because that's in that movie.
Oh, he's still on the Oscar movies.
So it would be
Something Things.
It's that Spike Lee movie mixed with Four Things.
What
is the name of the movie?
What era is a Spike Lee movie from?
It's like the 80s.
Oh, that's too long ago.
Do the Right, Poor Things.
Do the Right, Poor Things is correct.
Yes. Is that the correct noise thing?
Was that the
Yeah,
timer?
I had enough time to come up with it. No, that was the correct noise thing, not the
I thought
timer.
that was a timer.
Yeah, I control the timer and make you just barely get it in under the wire every time.
Keep the suspense up, man.
Dave's really good at this.
I clicked this to turn it into a stopwatch or whatever.
Oh my god.
That was Do the Poor Things. Do the poor right things.
Yeah, don't add extra layer of pressure to what is already something we're not very good at.
Next one. A man lost in the wilderness imagines himself as the protagonist of the play of traveling theater group, spending his entire life at a cocktail party amongst a couple fighting with one another through house guests.
It's
This is
Christopher Nolan
Great
movie.
Gatsby, right? Is the end of that.
Oh, is it? And there's the first one, the Christopher Nolan movie, where he's called the protagonist with Thingy Washington, his son. Tenet.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So, well, hang on. Say the beginning of that clue. Maybe I've got that completely.
I'm texting the answer to Jake so he
I
can
thought you
laugh
had-
at you guys being really far off.
Okay. All right. Well then,
okay.
it's not Tenet.
A man lost in the wilderness imagines himself as the protagonist of the. I wouldn't use his name in it if it was
you wouldn't
that, so
say
it's
the
not
protagonist.
Tenet. No, because
Yeah.
I have more integrity than that.
I just heard a
script.
word. I heard a word.
We're not that smart, so you could do that and it'll be fine.
Of the play of a
You could
traveling
literally
theater
say
group.
the name of the movie in your clue, and I still wouldn't get the movie.
Spending his entire life at a cocktail party amongst a couple fighting through one another via house guests. I mean, I had to look up the
Via
plot to
house
both of
guests.
these.
I mean,
a couple fighting via
You can
house
tell
guests.
when I haven't seen them because they're way longer because I have to Google both plots and combine them.
yeah, and yet you still won't even put one word clue in the. Can you give us a clue?
You can actually. I'll tell you this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words in this one.
That's
You
not a
can
clue.
ask me
That's not-
for any of the words, and I'll give it to you. Tell me the number. Would you want the first word, the second word, the third, fourth, fifth, or sixth?
Can I have all 6 words, please?
No, but some of them will really help.
Okay, words. Oh, what word?
But a couple of them won't help at all.
Not the first, but maybe
Negative.
the last. Maybe the last.
Okay, let's do the last
That's
word.
the last.
Wolf.
Oh, so is it wolf of? What is
Wolf of.
it? Is it wolf?
The last word is wolf.
Last word is wolf.
I know. I'm trying to.
So you're like, is it the first
I'm
word?
trying to reverse engineer that.
Maybe it could be the wolf of the wolf.
Ooh.
You could have
Wolf
combined
of
Wolf
Wall
of Wall
Street.
Street and Dances with Wolves.
Ooh.
That would be good. The Wolf of Wolves.
That is a man lost in. He's not really lost in the wilderness. He's kind of alone.
It ends on wolf. So something wolf. Virginia Wolf. No. I'm just.
I thought it was Great Gatsby.
I literally,
so I'm
if I
really
was listening to this
stumped
podcast right now, I'd be like, is that British guy the dumbest man on the
No,
planet?
no. People will just be screaming the answer or also not sure. Everyone's very on board.
It's so many words that by the time you get to the end, I've forgotten the first words you said.
Yeah. That's life for you.
Is that what?
In a way, this podcast
Cats in the
is
cradle and the silver spoon.
Okay. Who's lost in the woods in a movie? It's like that. What's that Leonardo DiCaprio movie where he's like crawling around on his
shook
belly?
his head though. So
Okay.
it's no.
So,
deer. What's the one with the? Deer? I can't think of
One of you
literally-
named the
Do you know
wolf
when you watch
movie,
someone on?
just so
You know when
you
you watch someone on TV
did?
on a game show and they
Yeah.
don't know the easiest answers.
This is not this one sounds great and is not easy. I haven't seen either of these
One
movies.
of them is we said the wolf movie, not Dances with Wolves.
No.
The Lone Wolf.
Virginia Woolf.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
What's the plot of Virginia?
It's called something Virginia Woolf. But anyway,
Yeah, if you don't know those
Okay.
words, we might be
It's
stuck.
called-
Okay, but we can reverse engineer this. So
Okay.
Virginia is a place that has wolves.
What game
You're
are
like
you
reverse
playing?
engineering the geography of the
Are you
title.
just reverse engineering the whole game into a different game?
They have to match together, right? Like at some point, there's a crossover of words.
40-year-old Virginia Woolf.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's
Yeah,
like
but
a
you haven't
crossover.
said the word where the crossover is yet.
Oh.
Yeah,
Fuck
it's
me.
called What in the Name of Virginia Woolf or something like that, right? Oh,
All right, you want to move on?
Jake, give us a hit. Come on.
You want to move on?
Is it? Why are you looking at Jake?
He knows the
He's
answer.
laughing at us.
Okay, yeah.
All right, we're looking for Bo is afraid of Virginia Woolf.
Oh, he's afraid. Bo
Bo is afraid of Virginia
What's
Woolf.
Bo?
Bo is afraid.
I haven't seen. I
don't know
It's hard
what
we
that
haven't
is.
seen the movie.
I mean, that one's tough. You either it's Ari Aster's movie. It's like very, very, very long.
I'd say it's misleading to say that it's about a man lost in the wilderness.
It's a tough.
Thank you,
It's a very
British
tough.
man,
It's
backing
a
up
very,
British
very
man.
tough plot to come up with.
Yeah, I agree.
And I also didn't want to read too much and
You
spoil
could've-
it, so I just read people's synopsis.
You could have read the easiest clue.
We're gonna
in
say
the world.
Ari Aster has a 4-hour metaphor for his relationship for his mom at a cocktail party with house guests.
Okay.
All right. The next ones I think we get into a little more mainstream here.
Okay, good.
A bunch of oddball characters join the police force, and amongst the candidates are the A-list girl clique at a high school.
Something Mean Girls. So something girls.
And that's it.
Yes.
Oh, I thought there was an and.
So
coming.
hang on, oddballs run the.
No, you
police
can
force.
tell when I've seen the movies because it's just a real quick, like,
Yeah.
I can know the plot without having
But
to
it
look
won't
it
be.
up.
It won't be
I
Police
thought it was
Academy.
Police Academy, but
But
then-
you've got police in that. Is it? Oh,
Police Academy.
Well,
of
hang
Mean
on.
Girls?
Somebody's changed his tune. He's put the bloody word in the clue. He's going. He's not the protagonist. You moron.
I just added police when you told me I could put the words in the clues because it
right.
said the law
Police
enforcement.
girls.
Close. Combine 'em up.
Poly girls. Poly.
Poly Girls. Poly Girls is like a new HBO Max
Oh, it's
show.
It's Police Academy Mean Girls.
Ah, this guy. It's just the fifth clue, and I still don't quite understand the game. Police girls.
No, we're 4 or 5 clues in. You're yelling Poly Girls. Like Euphoria has like a new podcast where they recap episodes.
You know how Americans think Brits are more intelligent than Americans? I'm doing my damnedest to completely reverse that
just the accent.
stereotype.
All right. We got. Let me see.
Are there any 90-minute action movies in here? Because I think Chris is going to clean
maybe.
up on that one.
Oh, okay.
In order to join a space program, a man assumes the DNA identity of a valid man, but his plan is complicated by a group of felines hoping to be the chosen one so they can ascend.
Something.
You've known one of them immediately every time.
The
Cats.
DNA
I've got
thing.
cats.
The,
I've got
ne-
cats.
the ne-
Cats.
DNA thing made me think of Avatar, but I don't know if that's
So a space
correct.
program. Joining a space. Is that Armageddon's?
Armageddon has not much to do with the DNA
There's no
program.
DNA.
It's supposed to be about blowing up.
Do you know
an
I did
asteroid.
that? I just picked the one
Space
word I like
movie.
from
Yeah,
that
yeah,
clue,
yeah.
which is space program.
I know.
I know space program, and I was like, the rest will work itself
I
out.
said when I just say a space, and you're like, all right, I got.
Can we get one more time?
In order to join a space program, a man assumes the DNA identity of a valid man, but his plan is complicated by a group of felines hoping to be the chosen one so they can ascend to a new life.
Felines?
So it's cat. No, he said I'm correct with cats. We don't need to worry about felines.
I had to look up this other plot.
We've nailed cats. The valid man, the DNA of a valid man.
The DNA of a valid. What's a valid man? What is a valid
What's
man?
an invalid man?
I don't know.
reverse
But
it.
they
Oh,
seemed
an
like,
invalid. Like an invalid?
it seemed to be like a proper noun in the description of this movie. Like it was like this was the terminology
Space
used.
program of a valid man. Is it to Star Wars?
You guys swung in on a hard day of this game too.
Did we? Are you just trying to be nice?
No, this one I wouldn't get this one.
Okay.
The reason I host this is so I don't have to try and get any of these.
Valid man.
I think just, you know what? Let's just give up.
No, one more. Come on, man.
Oh,
This is life.
I'm
Apparently
valid.
this is life. You can't just fucking give up.
This is why I brought Dave. This is why I brought Dave with me. I would have left this garage 30 minutes ago if he wasn't here. Valid man, space program of a valid man.
It's so funny because this is the movie I thought you had maybe seen of all of these from the description, but maybe you just haven't.
But you know what?
I hadn't seen this.
But it's hang on.
I've seen every space movie, but I can't think of.
Really?
That's the best quote of the podcast. I've seen every space.
Oh man,
That and Judi Dench is in it. Yeah.
Dude, the Judi Dench thing will be the clip. Okay, well she wasn't in this.
It's like a.
You wrote this
I've
like
seen
you had
every
never seen it.
space movie. That's like that's a thing a crazy guy in a bar says to you. I've seen every space movie. You're like, all right, dude, just leave me alone.
I'm just trying to close out.
Where's Judi Dench? She's like, all right, just okay. Space movie.
I can't
Space
think of anything.
Balls. Space.
We're
cats.
looking for
Space Cats.
Gattacats.
Oh, Gattaca. I've not actually seen Gattaca.
Gattaca.
Okay.
I've seen
Gattacats.
it. I have seen that.
Well, there you go. At least we know he's not a liar.
Everything checks out. He's seen Gattaca. Well, this one has a space movie too, so we'll see if you figure it out.
Can you do another episode of this with just Dave and you purely quiz him on every
space movies?
Just the space special with Dave Guthrie.
Space movies.
We'll call it The Right's Tough.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, final one. Has a little bit
this.
to do with space.
Okay.
Come on, man.
This is,
Thank you.
of all the titles smashed together, this one is the biggest reach.
Okay.
I'd say the titles have been pretty good smashed together.
Okay,
so
they sound good. At
This
the end.
one,
the
this
process
one-
to get to them is a nightmare.
Bo is Afraid of Virginia Woolf. That's the same amount of syllables as Who is Afraid of Virginia Woolf. That one sounds pretty
No,
good.
that was a great one.
They got the soft vowel. Okay.
I haven't been giving you any props because I'm just still reeling. From
Sorry, just to let you
If
know,
you get this one, you win the podcast.
just yet, it's not a character assassination towards you and the preparation you've gone into. It's more of I'm more annoyed at myself.
Our own
and
embarrassment.
I'm sorry if I've
And I didn't
taken
even.
it on you.
I do have to say, I usually give the shout at the end of the game. A lot of these titles were written by podcast fans who on Discord submit titles and stuff. So, Sume Ume, Masubi, and Bubs, the three names.
I thought that was another clue. Oh no!
What movie is that?
Oh, well, we just need your 60-year-old who's interested in Asian culture for that.
Okay,
Here's our last one.
It's called
serious,
Detective
guys.
Worst
Ricketts.
title smashed together, but in the way that makes me happy.
Okay.
we got this.
When an asteroid threatens to collide with Earth,
Armageddon.
the only person who can... Could you imagine if it was Armageddon? You brought it up earlier.
It can't be Armageddon. It's not
The only
Armageddon.
person who can save them is a girl whose birth is linked to an unidentified spider species with healing properties.
So deep impact. Is it deep?
Oh, I was gonna say Deep Impact Arachnophobia.
No,
It's deep impact, correct?
no.
Isn't Armageddon?
Yes.
What was the other?
Yeah.
It is Armageddon.
It is Armageddon.
It is. Why would you
tricked us. Why are you tricking us?
Why are you tricking us?
I didn't. I just said, could you imagine if it was? I needed you to imagine that it was, and you did.
Okay, can you say the second half again?
Give the
us
only
the spider
person who
bit.
can save them is give us the spider bit. Should honestly be the title of this movie. Is a girl whose birth is linked to an unidentified spider species with healing properties.
A girl whose birth.
I bet neither of you have seen this movie.
I haven't seen it. I don't know.
We can reverse engineer it
We
again.
can't. You say it every time.
That sounds like a line from this movie based on the dialogue around it.
Armageddon, don't touch the spider.
Is that a movie?
Armageddon.
Is Don't Touch the Spider even a movie?
I think
I'm trying to figure it out.
Dave is the most optimistic human.
I will tell you this one. This one, the second title is in the middle of Armageddon. We start Armageddon, we end Armageddon.
Oh, it goes armor something Don.
Oh.
Get on. Armor.
Get the
spider,
cure.
Don.
Armor, get this. Yeah, get the bite.
Think of stuff that is real first.
Arachna. Armor.
Just first think of anything that actually exists.
Spider.
That is a movie.
But we don't know.
This one is an infuriating
You
title.
literally said we won't know the movie.
I think you both know this movie and have heard of it and just haven't seen it.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's
Even though you have AMC, maybe you have.
Is Morgan Freeman in this movie?
No. I mean, I
hang on, Madame Web. That's the movie that's come out that's not been very well received. Armageddon. Hang on.
Arma Madam Web.
My brain is bad.
Madam Arm. Marmageddon.
Madame Web done.
Yes!
Yes,
Yes, we
finishes
did it.
strong.
Oh, boy.
Oh my
Oh, that
Yes.
is it. Oh, my God. We're ending there.
End on a strong
We're ending
one.
it all there.
Okay. By the way, I had 9 vodkas before this. If that explains.
I'm more sober than I've ever been.
Okay. That's so beautiful.
Chris,
really
thanks for
sober,
being
yeah.
here.
Thanks, man.
Dave, thanks for being here.
That was a blast. Thank
Chris, thanks for having never seen Maestro.
No worries.
Let everyone know what you got going, where to find you.
I
started sweating in like the good way.
Yeah. You can abuse my lack of any knowledge on all social media at Chris M Comedy on all of them because of the guy from Coldplay. And I have an album coming out on the 23rd of February. We can get from all the streamy places, and it will be on YouTube as a special if you want to see the video version of it.
Great.
And then can we plug Dave? Is that
Yes, of
Dave's
course.
just to plug something.
I was gonna say, or we can find you in East Hollywood on a.
Yeah,
Let's just keep saying our
stop
address.
saying the address.
Let's remind everyone to go back
Yeah,
and search for the
yeah,
address
yeah,
if they forgot.
No.
I didn't say the address that time. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, David Guthrie, and yeah.
Can I also plug the fact that you played 100 board games in 100 days, and they
Ooh.
or are you trying to move away from that?
No, you can plug.
But you've also got a very. I love the name of. You've still got Instagram.
Yeah, Gamey Lannister.
Gamey Lannister.
Great.
Good pun.
That is great.
Yeah, the clue for that would be a thing you play with friends with arch nemesis.
The
from...
most disappointing payoff to a great character arc in television history goes ladders, and then one big shoot.
There we go. That's why you get paid to do the questions, and we get paid to not do the answers.
Hilarious.
I love that. All right, thank you guys so much. Thank you for those who submitted.
Thanks.
The before and afters on the Discord. Everyone, have a wonderful day.
I've never seen it.